The day that the wealthy couple came to the orphanage, I was dancing ballet in the courtyard, and just at that moment, they saw me. Their eyes turned red, overcome with emotion. They rushed toward me and asked, "Sweetheart, who taught you that dance?" I blinked innocently, tilted my head, and replied softly, "I don't remember. I just dance like this whenever I think of Mom." And just like that, I was chosen. Brought home by Mr. and Mrs. Sterling, the rich couple every orphan dreamed of. Back then, all I wanted was to see Selena lose her mind. Because those people, they were her biological parents. And that dance, it was her dance, one she once showed me in passing. I've come back to life, reborn on the very day before the Sterlings arrived to reclaim their real daughter. For years, Selena tormented me. She sat high on her throne, surrounded by followers, barking orders. "Break her legs. Does this mutt think she deserves the competition spot over me? Break her. Let's see if a cripple can still dance." Fists, kicks, like a violent storm. I curled up in the corner, covering my head, crying, "Please, stop. I'll back out of the competition. Just let me go." Selena paused. She hadn't expected me to give up so easily. But I did. And she didn't care. She sneered, spat on me, and said coldly, "Quitting early suits you. You're dumb, slow. You wouldn't place in a provincial competition anyway. But once I win, someone rich will adopt me for sure. I'll have the life I deserve." She laughed loudly, triumphant, and walked away with her little gang. Vivian slowly stood up. Blood trickled down my leg. But I smiled, a cold, bitter smile. That competition spot, I gave it to Selena on purpose, because if she had stayed at the orphanage, dancing that mesmerizing dance of hers, how could I possibly be the one chosen by the Sterlings? Now that I've come back, I understand. Some people are born under lucky stars. Selena, beautiful, brilliant, the lost heiress of a powerful family. We grew up in the same orphanage, yet the director treated her like royalty. Everything she wore, everything she used, the best. She had it all. But she wasn't content. She needed to crush me, just to feel superior. The other kids were practical. Seeing her power, they lined up to follow her. She was never punished, not even once. Eventually, the Sterlings came for her. She soared through life, powered by family, beauty, and luck. And me? I knew her secrets. I knew her past. That made me a threat. So, she sent thugs to end me. And they did. In that agony, bleeding, broken, I closed my eyes, unwilling to let go. As death closed in, I whispered to the sky, "Give me one more chance, and I'll destroy her." And the heavens listened. This time, I will take everything from Selena. The next morning, Selena boarded the city bus, eyes full of dreams, heart full of ambition. The bus slowly pulled away from the orphanage, nearly scraping past a sleek black luxury car. The director froze, then lit up with a greedy smile. Rushing forward, he bowed deeply, eager to please. "Mr. Sterling, Mrs. Sterling, why didn't you let me know you were coming? I would have had someone ready to greet you." But the couple didn't even glance at him. They simply said, "Bring all the children outside. Now." The director barked at us, his voice harsh and impatient. "Go change. Put on your best clothes and get out there to greet them. If any of you mess this up, I swear, I'll make you regret it." My leg was injured. I couldn't walk fast. The director shoved me hard. "You worthless brat, crawl back to your room. Don't you dare show your face in front of Mr. and Mrs. Sterling." I nodded, murmured a meek, "Yes, sir," and turned to walk away. But instead of dressing up, I did the opposite. I changed into the ugliest, most tattered clothes I had, then stepped into the center of the courtyard and began to dance. Ballet, graceful, deliberate, haunting. In my past life, Selena had been reunited with her birth parents because of this very dance, a piece choreographed by Mrs. Sterling herself. But this time, it was my turn to enter the world of the elite. Pain surged through my injured leg. I could feel blood soaking the bandage. But I danced through it, spinning, stretching, pouring my soul into every step. Because no matter how much it hurt, it was still nothing compared to the pain of death in my last life. For revenge, I would endure anything. And just then, behind the window, I saw her. Mrs. Sterling. Her hands covered her mouth. Her eyes widened, disbelieving. Mr. Sterling stood up abruptly. Recognizing the dance, he rushed outside, voice trembling. "Sweetheart, who taught you this?" I looked at the director. Fear in my eyes. His face turned the color of ash. The wealthy couple sensed something was wrong. Mrs. Sterling knelt beside me, gently brushing my hair aside. "Don't be afraid, darling. Just tell us. We'll protect you." I blinked, feigning innocence. "I don't remember. I just dance like this when I think about Mom." Tears spilled from Mrs. Sterling's eyes. She pulled me into a tight embrace. "You remembered me. When you were little, I used to dance this for you all the time. And now look at you, all grown up. I'm so sorry." Mr. Sterling's eyes were red too, though he held back his tears. But his clenched fists, bone white, betrayed his fury. He stared at my bandaged leg, at the ragged clothes on my body. His voice came out rough and low. "Is this how you care for my daughter?" The director stammered, still trying to weasel his way out. "Sir, you must be mistaken. We found this girl on New Year's Day. Her name is Vivian. She's not your daughter. She couldn't even speak when we picked her up. Filthy, silent, covered in rags. How could she possibly be yours? As for the injury, who knows how she got it? Kids fall all the time. This has nothing to do with me." But even Mr. Sterling's restraint had its limits. He punched the director hard in the face. "Do you think I'm blind? That injury, it's not from a fall. It's from a beating. You think I can't tell the difference?" The director fell to the ground, bruised and howling in pain. Mr. and Mrs. Sterling didn't spare him a shred of dignity. They called the police immediately. He was arrested for child abuse. Selena's little gang cowered in the corner, too terrified to speak. Mrs. Sterling gently wiped her tears as she applied medicine to my wounds. "My sweet girl, you've suffered enough. Come home with us. From now on, no one will ever hurt you again." I looked up, pretending to hesitate. "Really? But what if I'm not your real daughter?" "Of course you are," Mrs. Sterling said firmly, her voice unwavering. "A mother knows her child." That promise gave me peace. Even if the truth came out one day, it wouldn't matter. It would be their mistake for mistaking me, not mine for loving them. With that thought, I finally let myself fall asleep in Mrs. Sterling's arms. Before leaving, Mr. and Mrs. Sterling had every one of my bullies sent to juvenile detention. When they found out the ringleader, Selena, had already left for the city to compete, they only sighed, regretting they hadn't caught her in time. I lowered my gaze, said nothing, just leaned quietly into Mrs. Sterling's embrace. That's all right, I thought. If the law can't punish Selena, then I will. Mr. and Mrs. Sterling treated me like a precious gem, not just because they believed I was their long-lost daughter, but because I knew how to play the part. I acted obedient, sweet, thoughtful. I quietly observed their habits, learned their preferences, and adjusted myself accordingly. To them, Vivian's honesty was proof. She was truly the kind, gentle daughter they believed her to be. Mr. and Mrs. Sterling couldn't stop praising me in front of others. "She's an angel sent from heaven," they said. Friends, family, household staff, everyone in the Sterling estate came to accept me as the rightful daughter of the house. I wasn't just living there. I was rooted there, like ivy wrapping tightly around stone. No one could tear me away. And meanwhile, I heard what became of Selena. After the director was arrested, she lost her power at the orphanage. Those she'd once tormented rose up and treated her worse than she had ever treated them. The news reached the Sterlings eventually. They only sighed. What goes around comes around. They didn't care enough to look into it further. They never imagined that the one suffering was actually their real daughter. But that was fine. Selina needed to taste the shame and humiliation she had once fed me. Time passed quietly. I was now in high school. The opening ceremony was grand, elegant, and full of pomp. And the final performance was mine. A solo ballet. Mr. Sterling, a board member of the school, stepped on stage for the welcome speech. At the emotional peak, he took time to tell everyone my story, how Mrs. Sterling once choreographed a special ballet and how they had recognized me through that very dance. I stood on the stage, smiling gently at the teachers and students below, but my gaze drifted toward a shadowed corner of the schoolyard. If I remembered correctly, Selina had also been accepted into this school. In my past life, it had been thanks to her father pulling strings. But this time she'd gotten in through the orphan priority policy. Either way, she was here. And she would hear everything. The speech, the dance, the praise. And she would know, without question, that I was now living her life. Just as I expected, Selina snapped. She stormed the stage like a madwoman, shrieking. She didn't care about appearances anymore. She clawed at my costume, tearing the delicate fabric. You bitch, I told you. You're not supposed to be up here. You stole my life, my future, my family. Give it back. I'll kill you, I swear. I'll kill you. She shoved me violently. I hit the stage pillar. My head cracked against it. Blood splattered instantly. Her screams echoed alongside the panicked cries of Mr. Sterling. But I smiled inwardly. Yes, cause a scene. The more chaos, the better. The deeper the stain, the harder it will be to erase. Everything she did now would come back to destroy her. My eyes fluttered open to the sound of shouting. Loud, furious, unmistakably Selina. What the hell is this? I'm the real daughter, and they treat that bastard better than me? That's enough, Selina, Mrs. Sterling said, her voice tight with restraint. Calm down. Her voice grew louder, more hysterical by the second. Why should I? I suffered for years while you lived in comfort. I hate you all. Selina rampaged through the hospital room, knocking over trays and chairs. She even lunged at my life support, ready to rip out the breathing tube, if not for the nurse who tackled her away. She didn't care. She screamed, ranted, oblivious to the cold, disgusted expressions on Mr. and Mrs. Sterling's faces. I groaned, weak and pale. Slowly, I opened my eyes. Mom. Dad. Just 2 words. Fragile, trembling. And yet, it hit Selina like a dagger. They're not your parents, you damn orphan. You have no one. Slap. Mr. Sterling raised his hand and struck her across the face. A loud, resounding smack. You better start acting like a human being. If not, you'll never set foot in this house again. Selina's face twisted with hatred, but she froze. That sentence stunned her more than the slap. She was dragged away by the nurse. Before leaving, she spat twice on the floor, still trembling with rage. Mrs. Sterling sobbed quietly in the corner. Mr. Sterling just stood there in silence, eyes fixed on me, his expression complicated. I struggled to sit up. Then in a soft, hesitant voice, I said, Mr. Sterling, Mrs. Sterling, I'm sorry. I'm not really your daughter. There was a mistake. I took Selina's place. She had every right to hate me. She hit me because I deserved it. I knew exactly what I was doing, gently reminding them of all the times she had abused me. Mr. Sterling's face darkened. How could our own daughter turn out like this? Mr. Sterling's voice was hoarse but steady. She's not just unruly. She's been a bully since she was a child. If she turned out like this, then it's our fault for not being there. We let her go once, that's on us. But you've done nothing wrong. Just focus on getting better. We'll make things right." I nodded obediently, then slowly laid back down. They never would have blamed Selena, not in my past life. Back then, they cherished her so much that they couldn't even bring themselves to scold her. But this time, with me here, Mr. Sterling had started to see her differently. By the time they officially adopted me, the Sterlings already had a sour impression of Selena, all because of what she did to me. They had no idea that the daughter they were turning away was their own flesh and blood, and when she caused a scene at school on her very first day, the damage was done. That fairy tale image of Selena as a beloved princess vanished. Instead, Mr. Sterling grew colder toward her with each passing day. He began comparing her to me, out loud. Selena couldn't take it. One day she snapped and demanded they send me back to the orphanage. But she had no idea. Mr. and Mrs. Sterling had already invested so much in me, emotionally, financially. I was their project, their pride. Of course they refused. Selena spiraled. She started drinking, smoking, disappearing all night at clubs, and when they caught her, she didn't even flinch. You throw money at that orphan like she's some rare treasure, but I spend a few thousand, and suddenly I'm the disgrace. Mr. Sterling exploded. Every cent we spend on Vivian is worth it. Look at her. She studies, she dances, she knows how to behave. And you? Look at yourself. Do you even recognize who you've become? Selena laughed coldly, swirled her drink in silence. "No matter what you do," she muttered, "an orphan is still an orphan. No amount of polish can change that." Then she looked up. "Tell me, Dad, are you really going to give everything to her and leave your real daughter with nothing?" Mr. Sterling clenched his jaw, but didn't answer. Because she wasn't wrong. Ever since they found out I wasn't their biological child, my name had been quietly removed from the inheritance list. No matter how angry he was, he still couldn't bring himself to cut Selena off completely. He turned to me instead. "Vivian, please, help Selena. She doesn't know any better. The future of this family will depend on you. I know she bullied you before, but people make mistakes when they're young. You know how well we've treated you all these years. I just hope you can forgive her." It sounded like a plea, but underneath, it was a command, a veiled threat. I lowered my head, voice soft and obedient. "Of course, Father. You and Mother gave me a second chance at life. I'll do everything I can to help Selena." But in my heart, never. The hatred between Selena and me is deeper than blood. Unless I destroy her, I will never forgive myself. And besides, this revenge can't stop, even if I wanted it to. Selena hates me. She thinks I stole her life. And in her heart, she's already tried to kill me once. Monday morning, back at school. The moment I stepped through the doors, I felt it. The eyes, glares, whispers, contempt, curiosity. Some leering, some vile. The same look the gangsters had before they attacked me in my past life. I saw it in my classmates now. I sat down, calm on the outside, expression unreadable. But my ears listened carefully. They were whispering. "She looks so innocent, but apparently she sleeps around if the price is right. Seriously? Isn't her family, like, super rich? That's the thing. She used to be in an orphanage, right? Money changes people fast. You didn't hear it from me, but yeah, that's what they say." They didn't say much, but the look in their eyes said everything. I turned another page of my book, calm and composed, but in my mind, I was moving fast, calculating. There was no doubt in my mind. The rumors, they came from Selena. She wanted to ruin me more than anyone. But what she didn't know is that someone who's already died once doesn't break that easily. I wouldn't waste time trying to explain myself. I'd bury her with something far bigger. I made a trip to the slums. There, in a crumbling apartment, I found the old orphanage director. the man I hadn't seen in years. After being charged with child abuse, he'd been fired. Now he survived on scraps and day labor. The arrogance in his eyes had long been beaten out of him by life. The moment he saw me, he dropped to his knees, trembling so hard he lost control of his bladder. Vivian, why are you here? I smiled, then gently helped him up. How could I not visit you? You've done me such a favor, haven't you? He trembled harder. He remembered how he'd once locked me in his office. The filth in his eyes, the sick thoughts. If I hadn't escaped that night, I would have become his personal toy. But then, Selena came. She threw herself into his arms, willing and beautiful, easier to manipulate. So he forgot about me. With his backing, Selena bullied me without fear. She knew nothing could touch her. Please, Miss Vivian, show mercy. Treat me like a piece of trash and leave me be. He sobbed at my feet. I sighed. It's not me you need to fear, I said softly. It's Selena. Selena? He froze, then looked at me, pale and confused. She wouldn't. I gave her everything. The best food, the best clothes. She owes me. I smiled. The Sterling family is arranging a marriage between Selena and the heir of the Cole family. A family that doesn't just own power in high society, but in the underworld too. They're building her up to be the perfect woman. Do you really think they'll forgive a walking time bomb like you? The director paled like a sheet, but he still tried to bluff. Miss Vivian, please don't lie to me. I've done nothing wrong. I've got nothing to hide. Foolish. He wouldn't stop until he hit the wall. I smiled, turned and left. Back home, I hired a few idle thugs. Nothing violent. Just enough to look like something from the underworld. In less than 3 days, I got a trembling call from the old man. Miss Vivian, I was wrong. Please, I'll give you the evidence. Everything. Just protect me, okay? I'll obey you from now on, I swear. He thought the Cole family had sent people to kill him. Terrified, he handed over everything. A lovely little action film, with Selena as the star. I watched the footage calmly. Faster than most could blink, I understood what it was, and what it could do. Truly, they knew how to play. After editing out some explicit scenes, I hired a skilled hacker, anonymous. We sent the video straight to the inboxes of Selena's relatives and family friends. Mr. Sterling smashed the laptop, then turned and slapped Selena across the face. She clutched her cheek, stunned, eyes wide as she stared at the frozen video frame. I don't know anything about this. Someone's trying to frame me. Mr. Sterling leaned back in fury. His chest heaved, his voice cracked. If you hadn't done these vile things, who could have framed you? If I hadn't stepped in, that video would have gone viral, and you would have become nothing but a cheap, disgraceful tramp. Selena knew she was cornered. Dad, she cried, you can't let that man go free. The director, he forced me to do those things. Mr. Sterling looked at her, tired and exasperated. Why are you bringing this up now? He's dead, jumped off a building. Body's been cremated. Case closed. Selena froze, then slowly turned her head toward me. Her eyes sharp, suspicious. I lowered my gaze, wearing the perfect mask of surprise. Innocent, confused, almost hurt. Was it you? She hissed. Before I could speak, she lunged, hands clamping around my throat. Don't think I don't know. You've always hated us. I haven't, I gasped. I never spoke to anyone from the orphanage again after I left. Before I could finish, Mr. Sterling kicked Selena away with a furious blow. Enough. Instead of fighting like children, maybe worry about how your fiancé is about to call off the wedding. He wasn't wrong. Despite Mr. Sterling trying to bury the scandal, my anonymous email, with that video, had already reached the business world, and there was no way the Cole family would marry a woman with a past that dirty. 2 separate envoys had already come to discuss cancelling the engagement. Eventually, Mr. Sterling had to give in. But he didn't take it lightly. I could see the bitterness in his eyes. Losing the Cole family meant losing a powerful ally. He stood silently for a moment, then glanced between me and Selina. Finally, his gaze settled on me. "Vivian, you'll marry into the Cole family instead. Take Selina's place." I didn't even have time to react. Selina bolted upright, her voice sharp with disbelief. "You can't. She's manipulative and fake. There's no way she's a decent person. And even if the Cole family won't take me, why would they want some orphan with no name?" Mr. Sterling's frustration erupted again. "Other than being my biological daughter, what do you have that she doesn't? Look at Vivian. She's poised, educated, well-liked, everything you should be." "That's final. No more tantrums." The door slammed behind him, leaving the room in silence. "Bitch," Selina whispered, fists clenched. "I won't let you win." I smiled, voice low, laced with venom. "I'll be waiting, princess." After that, Selina quieted down. The fear had settled in. No one dared fan the flames anymore. The rumors about me slowly disappeared. The Cole family sent representatives to meet me. They were pleased. If nothing went wrong, this marriage would soon be official. Mr. and Mrs. Sterling breathed a sigh of relief. Some rejoiced, others panicked. Selina, for example, developed stress acne. 6 months had passed since she returned to the Sterling home. She had everything, yet nothing at all. And I was about to gain the support of the Cole family. If Selina didn't act now, she might never get another chance. One night, I went downstairs for water. A faint light glowed beneath Selina's door. Through the narrow crack, I heard her screaming. "That bitch stole my parents, and now she wants to steal my fiancé? I'm done. Axel, you've still got those brothers of yours, right? I bet they're still desperate for a woman. Bring a few of them here. Make her regret ever being born." I stood quietly in the hallway. So, even after everything, Selina still resorted to her old tricks. That name, Axel, I knew it well. A gangster, a predator, someone Selina met during her clubbing days. He'd helped her do plenty of dirty work before. In my past life, I had no power, and I died, brutally, at his hands. No one sought justice for me, but this time, I am no longer the prey. My birthday was coming up. Mr. and Mrs. Sterling were planning the biggest party yet, not out of guilt. No. They wanted to use the occasion to rehabilitate Selina's public image and announce my engagement to the Cole heir. Their intentions were transparent, so clear. It felt like they were throwing them in my face. Selina couldn't understand the game I was playing. All she wanted was to sink her teeth into me and tear me apart, and on the night of my birthday party, she finally found her chance. The chauffeur told me Mr. Sterling had assigned him to pick up another guest. He said I'd have to walk home alone. I hung up, waited at the school gate for a while, then began walking. When I passed a narrow alley, a rough hand clamped over my mouth. I was dragged into the shadows. Well, pretty girl walking alone. Let's give her a night to remember. Don't waste time. Strip her. Film everything. The princess is waiting for her present. I kicked, struggled, pretended to cry in fear, and that made them laugh even harder. Which was perfect. They got careless. They started talking too much. At just the right moment, I screamed. From above, a team of private bodyguards I'd hired leapt into action. Within seconds, the alley turned into chaos. The men were beaten down one by one, groaning, bleeding, broken. I picked up Axel's phone, used his fingerprint to unlock it, went straight to his messages with Selina. "Did you find that bitch yet?" she wrote. I typed a reply in his tone. "Yeah, the boys are on it." Seconds later, she sent another message, this time with a flirtatious emoji. "Hurry up and send me the video when you're done. I need it." Oh, there's a video all right. But who's in it? Might surprise you. I sent her the footage of her and the orphanage director, with an added layer of password protection. She replied immediately, "Axel, why so many passwords?" "It's too sensitive," I replied. "The app might block it. Just play it on your big screen and plug in the laptop. It'll auto-decrypt." Selena believed every word. Even through text, I could feel her excitement. I sent one last message. "What do you want us to do with the girl when we're done?" Her answer came quickly. "Kill her." "No, too risky. My parents think she's precious now. Just let her go after it's over. I want the whole world to see how filthy she really is." I sent back a thumbs-up emoji. "Got it." Conversation over. I stared straight into Axel's terrified eyes, then shoved the phone into his mouth. Whatever they'd done to me in the past, I would let his own men do to him, now. As night fell, I put on my backpack, smiled, and walked back toward the Sterling estate. Inside, I stayed hidden in a quiet corner, watching Selena from the shadows. She wore a stunning red gown, flitting around like a butterfly among the guests. Her face glowed with joy. Mrs. Sterling looked restless, glancing at her watch. "Where's Vivian?" she muttered. "She's not answering her phone. She's not home either." "Maybe she's ignoring you," Selena chimed in sweetly. "I told you, that girl's ungrateful, never listens to anyone." She leaned in closer, voice soft. "I even heard she's dating someone else. Maybe she ran off with him instead of marrying the coal boy." Mrs. Sterling's face darkened. Selena quickly backtracked. "Oh, but that's just a rumor, of course. Let me go check on the MC." She left the room, lips curved in triumph. Just before 7 p.m., the soft hum of music filled the hall. The guests quieted down, eyes turning toward the giant LED screen. It started innocently enough, a slideshow of happy family photos. Smiles, memories, togetherness. But then came the sound. Moans, groans, muffled breathing, louder and louder, distorted, wrong. The guests froze, especially the Cole family. Their faces turned ashen. Mrs. Sterling screamed, reacting on instinct. "Selena, turn that off." Selena fumbled dash, then dropped the laptop, shattering it on the floor. I'm sorry, I can't stop it." The sounds grew filthier, the voices unmistakable. A man, a woman. Every guest in the room now knew what kind of video they were watching, and who was in it. Selena chuckled behind her hand. That voice sounds familiar. Could it be Vivian? She smiled, pretending to be amused. But then, someone in the crowd shouted, "Wait a second, isn't that Selena?" Selena's head snapped up. The smile vanished from her face. What was playing on the giant screen wasn't a video of me being attacked. It was her, dash dash. Selena, tangled in a filthy embrace with the orphanage director. Groaning, moaning, skin against skin. No shame, no escape. "Don't look, stop watching," Selena screamed, slamming her hands on the keyboard. But the laptop was already broken. Nothing responded. Desperate, she flailed in front of the screen, trying to block it with her body. But unless someone pulled the plug, she'd keep flailing forever. The Cole family stormed out in fury, declaring they would never marry into the Sterling family. Mr. Sterling's face went red. He clutched his chest, collapsed. Panic broke out. Guests screamed. Staff rushed to his side. I stepped out from the crowd. Unrushed, composed. "Dad, Mom, what's going on?" I tilted my head innocently. Selena saw me, clean, flawless, not a hair out of place. And she realized she'd been played. She charged at me, screaming, "I'll kill you!" I sidestepped. She fell flat, right at my feet, like a public act of worship. The room spiraled into chaos. And yet, I was the only one still standing. With a calm smile, I stepped forward. apologized gently to the guests. Graceful, elegant, completely untouched. This ... was the best birthday gift I'd ever received. The party ended in disgrace. Mr. Sterling was rushed to the hospital. He'd suffered a brain hemorrhage, a stroke. The doctors saved his life. When he opened his eyes, the first thing he asked was, "Did the Cole family really call off the engagement?" I nodded solemnly. They even pulled out of the engagement deal. He slammed his fists against the bed, regret etched into every wrinkle. After a moment, his fury found its target. "Vivian, bring Selina to me." Selina was locked in the room next door, screaming, pounding at the walls. The nurses didn't dare let her out until they saw me. "Miss Vivian, Miss Selina," they said with relief. "We'll leave it to you," I smiled. "Don't worry, I've got it." The moment I stepped inside, a fruit knife flew past my shoulder. The first time the video leaked, it could have been called an accident. This time, premeditated. Selina had finally realized it, and she'd snapped. She stood there, hands still frozen mid-throw, eyes wild. "You did this," she hissed. "You ruined me. I'll kill you." I bent down, picked up the knife, met her stare, and calmly drove the blade into the fabric of her dress. It didn't touch her skin, but she still trembled uncontrollably and wet herself right there. The stench filled the room. The monster I once feared was pathetic now. I twisted the blade ever so slightly, smiled. "Don't waste time. Your father's waiting. You'd better think hard about how to explain today's little scandal." Selina tried to act tough. "I'm not scared of you. Don't forget, I'm the real daughter. They'll always choose me." "Will they?" She walked into Mr. Sterling's room, chin high, and was met with a slap. Hard, loud, righteous. He glared at her, this disgrace of a daughter. They'd had enough. Selina stared at him, stunned. "Why? Why would you hit me?" "Because you destroyed the Sterling name. A century of honor. Ruined. You showed that video in front of everyone, and it was you in it. No amount of tears will ever wash this disgrace away." Selina couldn't speak. She stammered. "I didn't mean to. It was a mistake. If it's really that bad, then send me abroad. I'll leave. I'll never come back." Mr. Sterling let out a cold laugh. "You want to leave the country? To embarrass us on an even bigger stage?" "No. You're going to a psychiatric hospital. That's where you'll spend the rest of your life." Selina froze, shocked, speechless. "You're insane," she shrieked. "Mom, say something." But the mother she once clung to said nothing. Her eyes held only disgust, contempt. Selina had no idea that because of her string of foolish decisions, the Cole family didn't just break off the engagement. They joined forces with other families to suppress the Sterlings in business. The family's financial networks were collapsing. Mrs. Sterling's life of luxury? Gone. And Selina, the one who started it all, she was no longer someone worth protecting. In a storm like this, survival comes first. Blood means nothing. Selina finally broke. "Please, I'm sorry. Don't send me away. I'll behave. I'll marry anyone you want. Just please don't lock me up." Too late. No one wanted her now. Not even her parents were willing to bet their future on her name. Her screams faded down the hallway. Mr. Sterling lay in his hospital bed, gripping my hand. Tears rolled down his cheek. "Vivian, everything we have, we entrust to you. We'll find you someone better than the Cole heir. And when you have a child, we'll raise it as our own, as the true heir of the Sterling family." I nodded gently. "I'll never forget what you've done for me." I squeezed his hand. Grateful, obedient, so sincere on the surface, but deep down, I saw it clearly. Even now, he still didn't trust me. He'd rather hand everything to a child not yet born than give it to me. But that's fine. I'll take it all myself. A year later, I scored in the top 10 of the entire province in my college entrance exam. Mr. Sterling hosted a grand celebration. He wanted the whole world to know. Mrs. Sterling dragged me around, happily discussing engagement candidates, the perfect family picture. I smiled softly. Whatever you and Dad decide, I'll follow. They looked at each other, relieved. I excused myself and returned to my room, claimed I wasn't feeling well. My phone rang. It was the director of the psychiatric hospital. Miss Vivian, Selena's escaped. We're doing everything we can to find her. I hung up. Outside, I heard faint rustling noises, too soft to tell if it was wind or something else. I didn't wait to find out. I climbed out the second-floor window, walked calmly to the garage, drove away. Later that night, I was asleep in a hotel room when my phone rang again, shrill, urgent. Miss Vivian? This is the police. There's been a fire, a serious one. The arsonist has been apprehended. It was Selena. And your parents. One died in the blaze. The other hasn't regained consciousness. We're deeply sorry for your loss. I rushed to the station, and there she was, Selena, face burned, hair wild, eyes glowing with madness. She laughed, loud, crazed. I'm insane. The law can't touch me. You hear that? They're all dead now, right? That means the Sterling estate is mine. She was lost in her delusions, trapped in the fantasy world she'd built for herself. The moment I walked in, Selena looked like she'd seen a ghost. Sweat beaded across her face. Her body trembled. How are you still alive? I stepped closer, voice calm and sharp. Sorry to disappoint you. Looks like your inheritance is gone. And just so you know, a psychiatric diagnosis doesn't make you immune to the law. If you weren't mentally impaired at the time of the crime, you're still criminally liable. She shook her head. You're lying. I don't believe you. Selena lunged, but the two officers behind her held her down easily. Her face was burned, her skin blistered, her once perfect hair now a tangled, sooty mess. The elegant heiress, reduced to this, a picture of pity, from where no one could see. I smiled, just a small, satisfied curl of the lips. Under the crushing weight of everything, Selena finally cracked. So what if I'm a criminal? She screamed. As if you're so pure. You killed the orphanage director. You killed Axel. You're a murderer too. Cops, arrest her, sentence her, execute her. Her voice echoed off the walls. She confessed everything, blurted out the truth. But who would believe the ramblings of a criminal? The officers tightened their grip, dragged her away, toward her sentence. I wiped away a tear, thanked the officers politely, then turned and walked out of the station. My car waited outside, ready to take me to the hospital. Mr. Sterling was already dead. Mrs. Sterling remained unconscious. And as their daughter, I still had one last duty to perform. In the distance, the sky began to brighten. The night was torn open by the first light of dawn, and there, on the edge of the horizon, my sun finally rose.